Awesome. All right. Well, can you start and just give me a little bit of background? And I know part of the story, but if you give me a little bit of background about both yourself, how you got into produce, how you got into farming, and then how Eagle Road Produce came to be.
Okay. Well, so yeah, we had a passion for farming, and we started out in 2010. We still had dairy going at that time, and we started out with a little extra stuff out of our garden, and we started out selling with auctions and small retail here at home. Then in 2012, we started selling through Aces there at Bird Hand, which was an organic business. And then after that, around late 12, beginning 13, we started selling with Common Market, and our business just grew. About that time, we had two farmers that started growing produce for us, so we could keep up with demand. And I think, what was it, Dylan? Beginning of 14, when we started with Philly Food.
Yeah, I think it was. I was looking back. I actually pulled a record of all of our invoices with you to try to figure out what it was, and I think it was. I have invoices that go back till October 2016, but it was sooner than that we started working together. Philly
It
Foodworks.
was,
We started in 2014, and I don't think we started working with you the first year that we were in business, but I think it was 2015 that we started working with you.
yeah, it was probably 2015, and yeah. The way I got started with you at Philly Food, Dylan, is you had you had a write-up in the Farm Leader, Farm Credit.
Oh, right.
And there was a nice story in there about you with phone numbers, and I contacted Ann, and yeah, and it was a startup, and the first year or two, we shipped produce down to Honeybrook Harvest there with Ruben Rio. You know, he sent the guy out with a pickup, and he picked up the stuff and took it back to Honeybrook Harvest. So yeah, and it grew from there. And
I forgot that you started off dropping off, or that Ruben was picking up at your farm.
yeah, no, he sent this Eric guy around to
Eric.
pick up. So that was probably going for at least 2 years or so. Then I don't recall when you started sending out a truck. Probably when we started growing more and more stuff, and it took 2 or 4, 1 or 2 pallets at a time. It's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
And then you got us involved with distributing yogurt and have a drop site for the Mabelhof milk, and that created more room on the truck. And yeah, the business has just been growing, and with Philly Food ever since. It's been a good thing. And yeah, that's about what I have to say.
I'm just writing some of this down.
And we love working with you and Ann, and we really love your way of doing business, and with the way you have it set up with your customers. I think it's a very neat way of doing business and of selling fresh produce.
How many farmers are there that are part of Eagle Road Produce?
There's 12 full-time, and then there's at least 5 or 6 that are in and out, part-time. They're not really, we're not really committed to them, but we move their product if they have some.
Uh-huh. And
so yeah, It's a network of at least 15 farmers at that point.
I notice. I feel like it's interesting. It's interesting how you guys. I take it that you don't have like contracts with farmers who are growing for Eagle Road produce. In that, like, there are people are allowed to sell elsewhere. Is that true? And
Right.
how do you manage that? Like, how do you keep it from people just like chasing the best price wherever they can find it?
Well, that's up to them, but if we need product, then, I mean, how do you want to word this? The loyalty goes a long way.
What goes a long way?
Loyalty.
Loyalty.
Loyalty goes a long way. So if they're not loyal to us, and if say we get an order of 500 bunches of turnips, and I have 3 different farmers that have turnips, guess who I'm going to go to first?
Yeah.
But at the same time, we don't want to bind them into that they have to sell to us, because that creates a problem for me. What am I going to do with all this stuff if I can't move it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to find myself into a situation like that. So therefore, I can't get on them either if they want to sell somewhere else. But at the same time, we really strive to work together, to work on a good price that works for everybody, and keep everybody happy. I mean,
It's interesting. I feel like we do it's the same thing with us too. Like we're not going to tell a farmer that they can't sell their product somewhere else. Partially because I don't want to be responsible. We might not be able to buy all of a farmer's product. And so, you need to go somewhere else. But then at the same time, farmers that we work, farmers like you who we work a lot with, who we know are going to, like, if you have something early or something, whatever, we're interested in, well, then we're also going to do our part to try to help you move certain things.
Right. And, having said that, what you were saying, how we manage that. So one thing we really stress on is, if you purchase something with us, then you're responsible to make sure that's still there.
If you purchase something, you said
how's that?
You said if you purchase something with us?
So what I'm saying is, if they predict something with us, our farmers put in a prediction, the start of the week, or late Saturday, they're supposed to have everything into me by 8 o'clock Monday morning. So I can work everything on a spreadsheet and see what we're working with for the week.
Yep.
There's always late comers that will add stuff on Wednesday or Thursday, but we have a written policy that my farmers, everyone gets a sheet of our policies and our standards. So if they don't meet up to those policies, then we don't have to respect that.
Yep.
So if they come in with the prediction late Wednesday, I have a written policy that it's subject to wait till the next week. But what I was saying is, if you predict, say, 500 bunches of chard, and I have that on our availability for you, for Common Market, Harvest Drop, all the good guys, and come Friday and Saturday and the orders are placed and you're saying, oh, I don't have it anymore. So that we cannot put up with. So if they want to sell somewhere else, go for it, but don't put it on my prediction.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I guess that is that's kind of also that's the give and take with the farmer. The farmer you can sell it somewhere else, but don't play this game where we're gonna put it on 5 different people's sheets. You're gonna give it to me, you're gonna give it over here, then you're gonna go to auction. Oh, they're getting a bad price at auction. Well, I'm not gonna sell it at auction. I'll sell it to Aaron. Oh, well, they got a good price at auction, so I'll sell it to don't play the game against people.
And don't play games with like that. I had one girl a couple of years ago, he was always playing games. When the auction was high, I don't have anything for you. I'm taking the strawberries to the auction today. Well, guess what? Price price drops out, bottom falls out, he calls me. We got a lot of strawberries for you all of a sudden. Yeah, that's how it was all the time, and we just got rid of it. Yeah, we're not here to play games. We're here to do business and have a medium price that works for everybody. And if we're gonna get greedy, then yeah, maybe playing games is the answer, but not for me.
Well, so all right, let me take a note because there's something really interesting here.
I thought you have your recorder on.
I know, but so it's interesting because in the conventional business world, there's an argument that like, oh, well, that person's just doing good business. Doing good business is getting the best price you can for your product. If Philly Foodworks if we can charge an extra 50 cents for a bunch of kale and we go and charge our customers an extra 50 cents, well, that's just doing good business. If I can put a lot of pressure on Eagle Road Produce to sell me something for cheaper, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just doing good business. What do you have to say to that model of quote unquote doing good business?
Well, I guess that would be up to you, but it sort of conflicts with with what I was saying about if you want to get greedy, yeah, do your business like that. But I think a fair way of doing business is being fair and honest to everybody, and loyalty and using everybody right how you would like to be used.
Treat others how you want to be treated.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to make a couple bucks on us, that's up to you. We might not know it. We might never find it out. And what do we care? I mean, that's your call.
Well,
But we don't appreciate the attitude from a buyer of always jerking down on price. But you guys don't do that. I mean, you're not used to doing it to us. Common Market doesn't do it to us. We have a very good set of buyers where they're satisfied with our pricing system, and there's not a lot back and forth with could you do cheaper or stuff like that.
I mean, I agree with you completely, and I think that one of the things I think is different about the local food system is that the local food system is emblematic. It's built on the premise of your definition of good business. Being fair and honest to everyone, treat others how you want to be treated. That's the basis of relationships in the local food business.
Right. Yeah, and we as a group of farmers feel like we make out better, income's better with a fixed price the whole year through instead of like at the auction there's highs and there's lows and there's mediums, and some guys will never hit the highs. They're going to hit the medium and the lows, or just the lows. It's just, and they never know what they're going to get.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of when you get out to harvest something and you know what you're going to get, you have a lot more ambition to get this done. If you take it to the auction, you don't know what you're going to get. You end up getting the low price that day. It takes all the joy out of doing that work.
It's like gambling. There's probably some people who are almost the opposite. Like they like the thrill of like the gamble of like, well, I don't know, maybe I'm picking these, I'm cutting this lettuce and maybe I'm going to get, $8 a pound, $10 a pound for it, or something like that.
I know what you're saying, but I think that actually comes to an end eventually because some of these growers come home with not more than their box price.
Yep.
So who wants to work for nothing? I mean,
what is knowing what you're going to get for a product, having stability in the pricing, how does that allow you to like manage your business differently? How does that help you managing your business? Knowing what you're going to grow, knowing if you need to bring in labor, how does fair and transparent and stable pricing actually help you, with your business?
Well, it helps us a lot. We can based on our when we do our tax returns, we can and we with our records we can base that on what we're doing, and if it's working, we can plan for the next year and just hope for another good year.
Right. And for investing in next year's
Right.
harvest.
Right, and we depend on our loyal buyers like Philly Food.
What do you feel like are some of the ways in which some of the we've spoken to a lot of it. I mean, fair pricing, this kind of stuff. But are there other ways in which Philly Foodworks and Eagle Road support one another?
Well, I feel there's a lot of support from Philly Food because if we fall short of something, most times Ann will laugh and say, "Oh well, we'll make something out of it." That helps a lot. Like, I mean, I'm always the in-between guy. The farmer shows up and, well, like I was talking about late predictions. Farmer calls me Wednesday evening and says, "Hey, all of a sudden my cauliflower's getting ready. I got 600 head of cauliflower this week. Could you move it yet for me?" Well, that has to be cut when it's time.
Mm-hmm.
So I call Ann and "Hey, Ann, could you help me out this time? Could we move all this cauliflower?" Sure, she'll help me out. And she switches things around and, tries to use up this 600 head of cauliflower. And come Saturday, the farmer says, "Oh, I'm not getting what I figured I would. We're like 200 heads short." So that makes me look stupid. Here I called Ann late and she shifted things around, to work this in, and now I call and, "Oh, we're 200 short." So that's a big mistake on the farmer's end. And that's something we always have to work at, but it's, I try to drill my farmers on that. Don't over predict. And especially on a last minute call like that, I mean, have your stuff straight. Now, if it's storm damage, storm related,
Mm-hmm.
crop failure, that's different. But, just being over predictive just so you can get rid of everything possible that you have. And then in the end, we're short 200 head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so far, Ann has been super helpful, and she always has forgiveness, but I'm always nervous that it's putting our reputation down.
Well, it's like what are one of the ways that we can support each other? We can trust one another and have understanding.
Right. No, I agree with you.
What is that? Compassion. It's not. Oh well, Aaron. Now you got to do this or that. What are some of the ways in which you've helped Philly Foodworks out? I mean, I can think of some, but I'm just curious, kind of from your perspective, like what are ways in which you're like, yeah, I know that I've helped Philly Foodworks in this or that.
Well, you got me thinking on that one, Dan.
I mean, I know that you. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I'm just thinking of the good that I want to do, I don't get done, and the bad I don't want to do, I do. So I'm not sure if I ever did any good for Philly.
I mean, I would say one thing is just delivering delicious, high quality, locally grown produce. I mean, that in itself, right? I mean, that's it's interesting, right? Like if you're, it's the businesses that are doing evil. The oil companies and the pharmaceutical companies. Those are all the ones that have to have charitable nonprofits. To try to reverse the evil that they're doing. The guys growing produce, they don't need to have a charitable nonprofit because growing local, healthy, produce is enough.
Right. One thing I can think of is we've always been flexible on the pickup days. Like Philly Food wants to shift from Saturday to Monday, and yeah, we can make that work. Or they want to do a Monday pickup instead of, or do Saturday pickup instead of Monday from their usual route because of a holiday. And we always try to make it work.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I imagine that when we move from a Saturday pickup to a Sunday to a Monday pickup, that probably that's your whole Monday morning routine. Got disrupted there. What about I know there have been some specific. I think at least I believe that there have been some specific varieties of produce that we've asked you to grow that you've grown for us. Um, can you think of any offhand?
Here, I have my spreadsheet here in front of me. And my memory is really good, but it's short, so I'm not sure.
I mean, I like that line. I'm going to use that. I feel like ground cherries was something that we asked you to grow a while back.
I was struggling about that one. If you got it started, if it was Zone 7, or you actually did get it started.
I think it was Lauren. I think it was Lauren had asked you about that, or you had grown them. Yeah.
How about the fennel? Did you guys get us started on fennel? I don't recall.
That might have been us.
The herbs, I'm pretty sure you did. The fresh cut herbs. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Can you tell me about does Philly Foodworks help you move crops that you might get backed up on? Like, are you able to make asks of Anne of like, hey, I got this is coming in the season. Can you please take this before it goes bad in the field? That kind of thing.
Oh yeah, she's really been a help on that. We had 2 weeks in a row where we were heavy with cherry tomatoes, and yeah, she helped us out 2 weeks in a row with the large run. Yeah, she's been really good with that.
That's one of the things that it's one of the things that we try to educate our customers around. It's like, this is local produce. This is you might get something a couple weeks in a row. Well, that's because this is how produce works. It's ready. And what do we want our farmers to have to take that somewhere where they're not going to get a fair price for it? That's we want our farmers to not be able to grow that because we can't take cherry tomatoes 2 weeks in a row. And so we try to talk to our customers about that and how they're helping out the farmers when they we're going to do a big special on trying to do a big special on summer produce this week and try to move a bunch of peppers for farmers, and it's like try to we're going to discount them on our end for the customer and tell the customer this is it. This is the peppers are here. Get your peppers. Make your roasted red pepper dip and put it in the freezer. That kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is, you got to deal with. The thing I look at is eat what's in season while it's fresh and while it's ready. It won't last forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that should really be on people's minds is like try to eat what's in season instead of trying to buy a fresh watermelon on Christmas Day. Buy it in July.
Get a watermelon every week from July through August. Yeah, I always it's funny, peaches I feel right now or something where it's like I'm kind of tired of peaches, but I just keep making myself eat them because I'm like pretty soon here there's going to be no more peaches and then I'm going to be wishing I had peaches.
Yeah, it's time to think about apple cider now.
Yeah. I'm holding off. I won't let anyone in my family buy pears yet because it's like pretty soon we're only going to have pears,
Well, they've already been through here.
Oh yeah, maybe it's what storage is what we have. We'll have. I mean, the orchards still have pears for sale, and then we'll have them through the fall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You've in the past, yeah, you've always been really helpful with us around like letting people drop off, like letting Maplehoff drop off. well, why do you do that? Why did you do that? You know, that's not something you had to do. I mean, I know, you know, you charge us a little bit for it, but you're probably not covering your time. You know, why do you provide that service?
Well, just because I like to have customer satisfaction and I like to help Philly Food out. I like to, you know, I'm strongly opinionated on a community working together and making things profitable. And that's where Philly Food, what you're doing, Dylan, is a good thing for your network of customers. I mean, support the local, support your community. We don't need this makeup stuff from China and Japan.
Mm-hmm. What
Or shipped in California.
when you say you said working together, I'm strongly opinionated on the community working together and making things profitable. What does profitable mean? I mean, obviously there's a financial component to that, but what is? Can you expand? Like, what does profitable mean to you beyond
Well,
just money?
profitable to me means everybody's making headway and people are getting along together. That's profitable to me.
Yeah.
And it's the nature of working together and unity, working as one. That creates a strong business. And it creates a strong community. It makes a strong church. Unity goes a long way.
The word that we've been using is resilient. Um, you know, it's like if everyone's working together, then no matter what comes up, we can figure it out. You know, it's not just in the good years that it's not just when the weather is good that we have good years. It's every year we're able to have a good year because we'll get through the hard times together.
Right.
I've noticed before, and I think maybe we've had a conversation about this. I feel like with green garlic we did. I know that this is something you'll talk with Ann about. Like, if you feel the need when you have the need to increase the price, you'll often check in, or sometimes at least I know you'll check in with us and see what we think. Why do you do that? Why do you care? Yeah, why?
Well, because I care about Philly Food. I'm like we talked before, working together as unity. You know, it's like I care about them. I don't want to rip them off, and here all of a sudden they're not making any money on what I'm sending in because I jacked up the price. So, you know, it's not respectful on my part. So, I like to be used as I want to use people as I like to be used.
Yeah.
So yeah, I always try to call and I don't like, you know, never my intentions to just surprise her with the price.
Yeah. What do you feel like are some of your biggest challenges? Could be you, could be just like produce farmers in general. Your biggest challenges right now.
Well, some of the biggest challenges. Some of the biggest challenges of working with Philly Food, is that what you want to know?
Not with Philly Foodwork, more as a organic farmer, organic produce farmer. It could be like weather. Are there weather challenges that you guys have been dealing with? You've been noticing more of? Are there like customer perception? I know some of the things we've talked about is like, customer sees a bug and they think it's all, they're ready to throw out the case.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's probably one of the biggest challenges. You know, to have good, high quality produce is one of the big challenges. Another one of my big challenges is to work with 12 different farmers and keep everybody on the same page and just get them educated on good quality standards. And yeah, that's a big challenge. I'm not sure what the biggest challenge is, but it's definitely not working with Philly Food. So yeah, I would say one of the biggest challenges would be with having good quality produce and just working with the group of farmers in general.
What one of the things we try to relate back for our customers is the more that you buy, the more you're willing to support our local farmers, the more you're able to help them overcome their challenges. How does more sales help you overcome your challenges?
Well, if if we get more sales, then that means our product is moving better. So that creates that makes a lot less stress if we're not sitting on product. Like, so one of the biggest, I would say one of the biggest, there's a couple products in the line of produce that I'm always glad when it's over. So strawberries is one.
Uh-huh.
You can never let them, strawberries and raspberries, they come in, you just can't let them sit there. Not long. They have to keep moving. So, that's a challenge. A strawberry grower says, well, I might have 10 flats for you tomorrow, and he shows up with 40. So he leaves them there, and then I'm like, now where am I going to find a home for these 40 flats? So I have to make calls. That gets stressful. They're sitting in your cooler, you're responsible for them, and you don't have a buyer for them.
Mm-hmm.
So if like Philly Foods is going to take all this stuff and they have buyers that will buy it if you have it available, that makes a lot less stress. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm. I was pulling when I pulled our invoices. So this was just going back to October. Or sorry, not back to October. This is going back to October 2016, which I think is missing a year of sales. Philly Foodworks has made over $1 million in purchases with Eagle Road produce.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. In 2020 or was it 2021, you guys did close to 200,000.
It's interesting. I don't know how far off we're going to be from that this year. I mean, we probably won't hit it, but we'll probably get somewhat close, which is interesting because I'm not going to put all this in the interview, but it's interesting because because I think it shows how much more of our overall produce mix we are buying from Eagle Road, because our sales are, down considerably from where they were during that time. I mean, they're almost half of what they were, but our produce volume with you is probably only down 20%,
Yeah. Yeah, I just did a tally of your sales the other day. I forget what the number was. I think we were a little shy of 100 or maybe a little over 100. I forget.
Mm-hmm.
But, this is September. We still have 3 months. Yeah, you might be getting there. And maybe it was like 20 or 30 over 100. I forget still.
Let's see. If I'm looking at this right, let's see. We're at, so far on the year, I've got 126.
Okay.
Which,
all right, yeah, that makes sense.
Take it with a grain of salt. I just exported our invoices out of QuickBooks. There could have been something, off here or something, but yeah. So yeah, I hope we can break what? I hope we can break one. My goal would be that we do another 50,000 in the next 3 months.
Right. And if you do an average, we got about 14 weeks left this year, and if you do an average of 3,000 to 4,000 a week, you would hit that.
We'd be close.
Last week it was like 6,200, I think.
Yeah, that was another thing. Let me find this spot so I can get the number right. last we had a recent invoice that was around 6,200. When I was looking at our first invoices, um, our average invoice in 2016 with you was $640.
Yes, I believe that. It did on Eric's top, plus some other guys.
I mean, that's a lot of growth. That's a lot of growth that our two businesses, our two communities have done together.
Right.
How do we do it?
Well, move forward. That's it. Move forward, stay positive, and think positive. And, that reminds me of what I've said this a lot of times already, but I believe my attitude is 95% of my business.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I have a bad attitude towards everybody, that's gonna take my business just like that, right? So, having said that, a good attitude is, I would say it's 95% of your sales. I mean, of your business.
Yeah. And a good attitude
I might
is.
go off on that percent. What's that?
And a good attitude is, it's more. I think going back to what we've talked about, it's not just being pleasant towards people. It's actually standing in unity with other people. It's not just just being sort of nice on the surface. It's actually about looking out for one another.
You're exactly right. But I can tell you two different businesses where why I strongly feel that way, and they're both in the community. The one is a greenhouse, and I think they've really improved over the years, but they just had an attitude, care less. It was a retail greenhouse business, and customers would pull in and blow their horn and want service, and nobody shows up.
Uh-huh.
A lot of times, sometimes people, if they didn't care, they didn't show up. It's like, well, guess what? There's 6 other greenhouses within 4 miles. Where's that customer going to go the next time?
Yeah.
And then there's been a local health food store, bulk food store, sort of the same way. The guy's at the counter, you walk in, he doesn't even look up at you and say hello. He stands behind his counter, he's sort of a grouchy, sullen guy, and it's like you walk into the store, and what do you like to see? Somebody looking up at you and greeting you with a very nice greeting, and have a big exchange, a few words. How are you today? What does that do to your business? This customer feels like, well, I'm going to shop here today. I love this guy. So he's like a bad attitude. He doesn't even look at you and doesn't even greet you and say hello. It's like, you grump. I can go 6 miles the road the next time, and that guy's friendly. I'm going to purchase my stuff from him now.
Well, it's the relationship. It's actually knowing.
Yeah, but that's what I was getting at with it's the attitude.
Yeah. Yeah. It's we're not just here to transact. I'm not. If all we're here for is for me to hand you money and you to hand me a good, well, then we've lost our humanity.
Right. Right. It's everything living needs love. I don't care what it is. If it's a plant, if it's an animal, if it's a human being, we all like to be noticed, and just like I said, it's our attitudes go a long, long way.
Cool. Thank you, Aaron. This is great. I'm really excited. I'm gonna go through and kind of like just clean it up. I have a lot of notes down here, and I have the recording. Yeah, this is the whole point of doing this is to talk about the relationships that get created, the importance of the relationships that are built in a local food system and why it's different. Try to get people to share this with other people with their relationships, so we can get more sales. So yeah.
So does it help you out?
Yeah, this is great. Thank you so much, Aaron.
Sure. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I just hope we can be at least a little bit of help to you.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll let you get going with your day. I'm sure you still got a lot left.
Yes. Well, I should dive into my desk and do make some happy farmers. So.
Yeah, I know. Ann just left the warehouse and said, "I got a lot to do. I'm gonna head home. I'm gonna go finish from home."
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Was she in the background here?
No. She left like an hour ago or something.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this has just been you and me on this conversation.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Well, thank you.